Hi, I'm Marianne Kintzel, the Executive Officer of the Refrigerated Warehouse and Transport Association. We have another chapter of the Chilled Out series where we talk about all things cold chain in Australia and indeed around the world. Today, I'm delighted to introduce one of the RWTA's newest members. Joining me is Edan Shelley from Zembl. Good morning.
Good morning, Marianne. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you for joining. Edan, Zembl has been helping Australian businesses take control of their energy costs for more than 15 years, supporting over 30,000 businesses with energy procurement, market insights, and ongoing account management. That's particularly relevant for our industry where energy is one of the largest operating costs. Tell me more about this and how you feel Zembl can help the cold chain.
Yeah, well, each business is very different in their usage of energy. And over those 15 years of working with businesses across Australia, we've got a wide portfolio of different businesses within those industries. So if we look at the cold chain industry specifically, there's quite a few unique requirements and demands which really sort of feed into the energy consumption and obviously the energy outgoings in cost. So for instance, refrigeration runs 24/7. So the load profile looks nothing like a normal commercial site. Compressors cycle constantly, defrost cycle. You can obviously get spikes in demand at set times when you're sort of drawing on the grid through sort of certain different periods of trading. And most de facto contracts and tariffs weren't built for that with that in mind. So when we speak to a lot of cold chain businesses, we start with a network tariff review. So distributors can offer now multiple tariff structures, and not just in cold storage, but across all of our customers. We can typically find between 20 to 25% of customers are on an incorrect tariff structure, which these network tariffs make up around 40 to 45% of your invoice, depending on where you sort of sit. And it's a pass-through charge. So it's quite a substantial amount, especially when we're talking to the cold chain industry of usage. So what we would do is run a network tariff review, free. Think of it as a health check for our customers. And if we can find and identify a savings on a switched network tariff, what we'll do is we'll recommend that as part of our account management process. And then what we do is we'll take all of that information in terms of how each business and how each member uses their power, and that will inform how our panel of retailers bid on the energy. We had a recent example, actually, of an ice cream manufacturer, so similar sort of industry in that space, where the renewal offer from their current retailer had rather advantageous peak and shoulder rates, which on paper, without the expertise of an energy consultant, would look quite favorable. However, this customer was using a lot of energy in the off-peak due to those sort of continual cycles of refrigeration. So one of our other retailers came in with a more advantageous off-peak rate, which when you've run the numbers across how that customer uses power, actually resulted in an extra saving of around $3,000 a year on top of the original savings. So those sort of small things can often catch businesses out when you don't just look for specific rates, you look at how you use the power and how that sort of contributes to your energy outgoings.
Which leads me to my next question. You work with businesses obviously ranging from single site operations through to the large multi-site organisations, helping them better understand their energy use by negotiating competitive contracts and identifying opportunities to improve the efficiency over the long term. What would you like to see with these companies in 2027? What would you like to see them doing?
Yeah, it's a great question, really. For me now, in the energy industry, it's not just about can we get the cheapest rate possible. The price of power, although at present in a favourable spot, has been continuing to rise as time's gone on over the last few years. So it's more around how you use your power and how you work smartly in terms of your energy consumption. So we spoke earlier around sort of the refrigeration cycles and the demands on the grid. Now you'll get demand charges based on how heavily you pull power from the grid, more often than not. So can you think strategically around how you stagger your operations instead of demanding so much from the grid at one point? Can you stagger that operation out, which then will obviously improve your demand charge and your overall network, your overall invoice cost? But also thinking about small things like LED lighting, efficiency audits, and stuff like solar batteries. It's often been talked about for a while, but the whole suite of energy, and with our proposition of everything energy, it's more than just procurement now. It's that sort of full suite of, okay, well, here's the rate which we've been able to procure you for our specialist relationships with retailers, but let's think smartly around how you use that. And you will see that on the energy portal with Zembl. You'll see, okay, where do you use your power? And how can you use that to inform better decisions? And that's obviously what we're going to do. So in summary, Marianne, what I'd like to see these businesses do is, make smarter decisions when it comes to energy. Use the experts in the field for their advice. There's a lot of consultants out there, but we've got years of experience working with various different customers within the same industry. And there's often a few sort of quick wins that we can action straight away, whether that be that network tariff review and other parts like that. So yeah, just being smart around the way they use power and being open to seeking advice from the experts in the industry, really.
Absolutely. Edan, thank you for joining us today. It's been a pleasure learning more about Zembl, and we're delighted to welcome you as a new member of the RWTA. I can see that you're going to be helping their members down the track, and we welcome that advice and care. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Marianne. Glad to be a part.